Welcome to Invest. We talk about investing, finance, and professional development. So current time of 9:40 a.m. on Eastern Time on December 26th on Monday. Hope you guys have a great Christmas and also happy Kwanzaa. Respect to Ethereum coach $1,215, about 0.23% so far. On the over crypto market, on the altcoins of the house, we're relatively more ups and downs, but just approximate about 1.5% to 2.5%. But on the key coins, we are relatively flat. Bitcoin and Ethereum are both in the red, but Bitcoin is currently down 0.0%, while Ethereum is currently down 0.23% so far. The equity market is obviously closed today because of the Christmas observation day, knowing the fact that Christmas on the 25th on Sunday yesterday. The US holiday decided to make up for an additional day, so today the equity market is closed. But on the media front, you could see that with respect to the news, it's definitely a little bit less, I guess, active in comparisons to other days, which makes sense. We are at the year end, and obviously, with respect to the Santa Claus rally, we are not seeing, the typical propelment that we would be seeing, knowing the fact that with respect to the recent factors that we've been observing so far, just to keep tabs, right? The FOMC meeting, that seems like 2023 will be a recessionary type of environment. So investing now on both the corporate and the consumer front might not make the most sense. With respect to the COVID cases, it seems like it's still percolating in regional part of the world, but now it seems like there is a flu-like symptoms type of disease that's also percolating in the ecosystem. Obviously, in China, the lockdown is seems like it's happened again, but that doesn't stop the potential spread onto the global front. And in addition to that, on more direct correlations to the crypto space, the FTX debacle, it seems like it's still being solved, and seems like there is still some lot of legal repercussion, PR repercussion that we need to kind of get over. Obviously, it after the FTX explosion, it discouraged and kind of caused a lot of fear mongering among crypto investors, which wiped out quite a lot of people's financial assets in the FTX holding. But at the same time, the long term outlooks for cryptocurrencies as a whole. And as of yesterday, we saw that on CNBC. This was on YouTube that I saw, but it was a video that was uploaded by CNBC, and it's basically a depiction by Jim Cramer talking about he's quoting specifically saying that he will not invest into crypto in millions of years. Um, I could have recall he actually invested into Ethereum and Bitcoin early on, a couple months and years ago. I mean, obviously, Jim Cramer, he's just a well-known figure in the financial media space. But with respect to the, I guess, his I'm not saying he's not legitimate, but with respect to like some of the call outs that he mentioned sometimes, there's some elements of media affectation that we have to be kind of, be cautious about, right? He's known to be the opposite man. That you do one thing is typically the market will do the opposite thing. So that's something you want to be cautious about. It seems like a lot of negative media press driving more fear, which typically the retail investors will be a lot more prone to those type of negativities. In addition to that, you could see that airline has canceled over 12,000 flights due to severe winter storms and scrambled to rebook holiday travels. Something that I know personally from a lot of my friends are actually they were stuck in the airport, waiting for the flights to take off. Some actually missed the flight altogether because of snowstorm that happened selectively, more prominently on the East Coast region. Like in upstate New York. I live in New York, but I didn't see much snow. But I know in upstate New York it was definitely a lot more severe, and the temperature drop that we saw in the recent time frame, the last couple of days, like just a couple of days ago, the temperature dropped from like a just like normal, I would say 50 degrees Fahrenheit, drop all the way to almost 10 degrees Fahrenheit in the span of like couple hours. So obviously that Well, the global warming affectation is definitely becoming more and more severe, if you may. And then let's just take a look at some other news. A more trivial front. Seems like Beijing rolls to life a month after zero COVID lockdown fades, but China is not out of the woods yet. It's true, right? It seems like that's something that we still need to kind of figure out with the COVID situation. It seems like it's still being contained. Um, and then yeah, that's pretty much it overall. But obviously I would say the next major catalyst would be something around the January and February on the FOMC meeting, and with respect to the corporate earnings report, that's something we need to also look out for. How is the rate hike affecting the corporate earnings outlooks? How is that affecting the top line? How is that affecting the job numbers as well, right? These are all factors that the corporate front will need to kind of maneuver through, triangulate through, to make sure that we are still operating and producing profit in a capitalistic perspective going forward. But let's just quickly dive into a technical respect to recording time of 9:46 a.m. 12:15 at Ethereum price point right now. We are again consolidating on the daily front, still fusing together, not really moving much. Weekly front is fusing together, so I don't foresee us any major movements. But obviously, with respect to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 heads that we're forming on top, this is definitely forming more of a negativity than a positivity. But as we get over the hump, we will be ideally gliding. You could see that we are slowly forming some sort of a consolidation already. So it seems like the bottoms is in the air. So I wouldn't be too worried. But obviously, with respect to Q1, we will see how the market will shake out. Also, excuse me, on the Q1, Q2 tax season is also happening. So it'll be interesting to see how corporate companies and obviously retail investors will decide to write off or pay tax, or what will be the repercussion from what has happened pro mortem so far, right? And then on Bitcoin is very similar. Monthly, it's consolidating on a monthly. Weekly, it is fusing together, not really up or down. Daily, it is very fused together as well. So it seems not major movements should be foreseeable. But obviously, as you get closer to the macro factor of the FOMC meeting, CPI report, the corporate earnings, tax season, any specific news that will happen around the debacle from FTX, or further developments around the debacle of FTX that might unfold in a more of a black swan perspective, that's something we also need to look out for. Okay. And then index fund, just to take a look at this closely again. Again, right, we are waiting for a reverse head and shoulder pattern to be formed. Head, shoulder, shoulder. So what we need to do is like come down just slightly, form this death cross on a weekly front. Daily front, it is looking like not terrible, but I think on a weekly front we need to fuse this together so we can align on daily, weekly, and monthly front. So a rebound is in sight. It's just a matter of time, but we need to be patient. Again, this is more of a monthly out perspective. Okay. So appreciate you for dropping by again. Hope you guys have a great Monday, and also happy holidays. We are again less than a week away from New Year's Eve, so happy early New Year's Eve. And I appreciate you for the kind notes in the last couple of days, and I appreciate you for joining me again. And take care.